Mathilda, don't you ever do that again or break your head. You got that?
Okay.
It don't work like that. It's not professional. There's rules.
Okay.
And stop saying okay all the time, okay?
Okay.
Good.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good.
For the greater good.
Oh my gosh, who in the heck is that?
I am back from my world travels. So
That's you mean Florida?
well, we also went to the Virgin Islands. So.
That's true. That's true. You did in fact leave the country for a minute. So.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I'm glad you had a good vacation. I heard about it.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm glad you had a good time. And welcome back. It's good to have you back.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's good to be back.
From your summer hiatus as you are.
Well, I still got a good 3 weeks, but
yeah,
we're good.
And then you're gone next week, right?
Yeah. Up to Wisconsin. So I'm best of both worlds, Florida and Wisconsin.
And then it's great because when you come back from there, you always have your accent.
I know, right? I'll have that tinge a little bit. And it's unfortunately, it's my aunt's funeral that it's going to end up being that weekend. And they are all from Minnesota. And they are the ones that give me the accent. So I will be surrounded by aunts and uncles and cousins with northern accents. So,
nice. We should definitely record the minute you get back.
There you go.
I like it.
I should capture some of their audio. I really could. I should. Because it's perfect.
Okay. I like that. You should definitely do that. Yeah, let's do that. So anyway, This is episode 445. And I'm stalling for time because I realized after I had hit record that I didn't do middle names for you guys, but now we're good. That's why we were camping there for a few minutes.
Show notes.
445. And tonight we are finally talking about Léon the Professional. Now, I jokingly said this to Andrew, so I haven't really mentioned this on the show, but for the last 4 or 5 weeks as we've been displaced from our home, for whatever reason, my TV found itself on the Game Show Network, and it hasn't left the Game Show Network. We've been watching all these old game shows and new game shows, and our favorite is Family Feud with Steve Harvey. He is just fantastic. And so when he introduces himself, he doesn't say, "I'm your host." He says, "I'm your man." And I asked Andrew, I said, "Do you think I should do the show tomorrow like that?" And I tried it. It sounds really weird coming from.
No, you're not Steve Harvey. I'm sorry.
I just don't have the confidence that he does. I can't say.
Just sitting in there, just saying, "I'm your man."
Yeah,
he was practicing it in the mirror.
No, I didn't like that. I'm just saying. Last night when we were playing video games, and I said it came out weird. I mean, if I were to have reintroduced this show, saying this is episode 445, and tonight we're talking about Léon the Professional. I'm your man, Sean Allred. It just sounds weird.
Yeah,
it's all right.
It does.
Yeah,
but you're not Steve Harvey, so
I'm not Steve Harvey, nor will I ever be. But that's okay. But joining us tonight is Andrew. Who should we bring? Everyone! Jimison.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, everyone.
I didn't get to yell it the way I wanted to because half the house is trying to sleep.
I know that people listening can't see this, but I did bring something for our show tonight.
Oh, okay. So switch over to YouTube.
Uh-oh.
This is Harold. This is my plant who's going to be is my best friend. He's going to be staying with me right here.
Nice.
On the table.
Hey, Harold.
Yeah.
If I'd known this prop was going to happen, I would have switched your middle name with Sam's middle name. Returning with this is Sam rubs his houseplant, Vector.
I do. I love Andrews as well. But Sean.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I've lost my train of thought for how to kill you in this one. It would probably be let me hold your hand at the very end and give you this ring that I've got for you.
Okay. All right, that's fine. And making his triumphant return is Will. Only drinks milk. Triplet.
It's true. It's true. I'm a father of 2 young children now. It's all we ever have.
Yeah.
It's all milk. Yeah.
And that's if we have that.
Yeah, and on like Friday nights when he's like feeling really, really spicy, it's chocolate milk.
That's right. That's right. It's sugar-free, though.
Okay, I have to
keep it
ask.
high and tight.
Milk has been brought up, and I do have a question.
Okay.
Is my family, the vector side of my family, weird?
Yes.
We drink our chocolate milk with spoons. Right? So you mix the chocolate milk, and then you slurp it, you get it in the spoon, and then you drink a spoonful of chocolate milk.
Like soup?
Like soup. Otherwise, you drink it too fast. So you've got, at a vector event, if there's chocolate milk, there might be 20 people clinking the glass with spoons, and it drives my wife absolutely insane.
I understand why.
Is that does anybody else do that? Is my big...
I mean, it's maybe David Koresh and
honestly, Sam, my oldest son does that.
Yeah, right. It
I don't
slows
know
you
why, but
down.
He
you
does it
enjoy
with
yeah.
he does it with chocolate milk, but he also does it with any drink that you like. For some reason, if you mix those little packets of flavoring into water,
yeah.
And I've tried to explain to him this. It's not a dish that you eat. It's
So do you do it like in a glass, or do you do it in a bowl? Or
no, it's a glass. You got to do chocolate milk in a glass. Yeah.
But does he not put ice in the flavored water?
Oh
no.
Interesting.
That's weird.
I don't have ice in my flavored water.
Yeah, for us it's just chocolate milk. So interesting. All right. My children have started doing it, which is much to the chagrin of my lovely wife.
If you would have drank your strawberry margarita like that, you wouldn't be as tipsy as you are right now.
That is very true. It would have slowed me down. That might have been a good thing. Maybe I shouldn't have drank it with a straw.
I'd love it. I would love for you to go to like a bar and bring a spoon and drink your beer like that.
Oh, see, I can't see doing beer. That's
but your reaction to beer is the rest of us' reaction to the chocolate milk.
But it's different, right? Chocolate milk, you want to savor every bit of that chocolate milk. So
you don't want to savor beer?
No, you want to drink that stuff as quickly as you can.
Okay. Again, having not drank a full beer ever, I wouldn't know.
You have a cereal argument, Sam. There's a cereal argument in there somewhere that could maybe get you over the top on this one.
Yeah.
People finish their cereal after the chocolate has gotten into the milk. They still use the spoon. I get it. It's just the image of 20 people clinking glasses over each other is just.
Yeah, she says it's insane, but I don't see the.
I agree. She's right. She usually is, but
yeah, they do the same thing with ice cream too. They scrape the bottom of the bowls with a spoon.
You're trying to get that last bit of ice cream. I mean, that makes sense. I was waiting for you to say like, oh yeah, but with our ice cream, we just eat it without chopsticks or something. I don't know. I was waiting for something else equally strange.
Yeah.
So do you? So, God, that background Sam is terrifying. Go to our YouTube page and you'll see that Sam's having fun with Chat GPT or whatever. I know we need to talk about Léon the Professional in a second because that's what we're here to do. But so Will opened up there's a cereal argument. So are you a person that eats the cereal and then drinks the milk?
Oh yeah, right.
Do you pick up the bowl and drink it, or do you use the spoon still?
I pick up the bowl.
Okay. I wasn't going to judge it either way. I was just curious on that one.
Yeah, no, I think that's normal, isn't it? I hope it's normal. Okay, good.
This is the way.
Good. We won't talk about my roommate Chris using beer as a substitute in college.
Yeah,
because there was no more milk. But
my father-in-law's done the same thing. He did
Yeah.
that just because he thought it would be funny.
yeah, it's just gross.
You're awfully quiet there, Andrew.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm just taking in all the weirdness that's happening.
That's
I can't say that I've ever had cereal with anything other than milk. That's weird.
yeah. Well, again, my
No,
father-in-law
no.
did it because I think Sam, you mentioned that before, years ago, and I said like, oh yeah, Sam's roommate did that, and Joe's like, oh yeah, I've done that before. Like, oh, were you out of milk? No, I just wanted to try it. No,
Oh, yeah.
but that's Joe. Anyway, Léon the Professional. We could probably talk even longer about cereals and weird ways to drink things, but instead we'll talk about 1994's Léon the Professional, directed by Jean-Luc Besson. And
Wasn't he a commander of a Star Trek somewhere?
yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was number one, and he played the flute and did other things. So he would, in fact, be our Star Trek connection. This is all, of course, not real at all. Anyway, Andrew, what is this movie, Léon the Professional?
12-year-old Mathilda is reluctantly taken by Léon, a professional assassin, after her family is murdered. An unusual relationship forms, and that's a nice way to put it, as she becomes his protégée and learns the assassin's trade.
Okay. But does she, though?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
I thought she ended up at the school and
Yeah.
was trying to be good.
And plants that plant in the middle of a yard where it's going to get mowed.
It's going to totally die. It's going to die.
The lawnmower.
She assassinates the headmistress is what I was expecting, but
Yeah.
that didn't happen.
I honestly,
Well, she at the very least learns it. Whether she acts upon it later, she learns it.
yeah, she does kind of learn a little bit, but I kind of thought it was going to be, I only watched this movie for the first time about 2-3 months ago when I appeared on another podcast when we did this, but I'd heard about it. I know a lot of people that liked it, and some people argue that it's Besson's best song because he's French. It's his best film, and I remember thinking at the time, like, oh, this movie is about a guy who trains this 12-year-old, and it's not really about that. Not really. I mean, there's part of it, but the movie's more about him learning how to be not a loner, and her actually having a father figure in her life that's not awful and all that good stuff. So
Pretty much anybody that's not awful in her life.
yeah, I mean, this movie is filled with really awful people.
Yep.
I mean, there's like 4 not awful people, right? Like, I mean, even Leon's kind of he kills people for a living, but like, her little brother and her and Léon and maybe Tony, right? The guy that's at the restaurant. That's about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's do our 5-word reviews. Sam, I was about to say Andrew. I'm so used to saying Andrew.
Yeah.
Off. But Sam, what you got?
I know. Yeah. Back for a week, and then you'll have to go back to Andrew. But I got 2. And the first one is, why is Luc Besson so weird? Right? I just don't know what it is about his movies, but they just they make me feel uneasy in weird ways. And it kind of leads into my second one, is makes me feel gross. This whole movie made me feel gross, right? Between the nasty places that they are all staying, right? The horrible people, the weird, almost sexualization of however old Padme is in this movie. I felt gross this entire movie, almost embarrassed to be watching it. So I had a really hard time getting past that in terms of actually being able to pay attention to the story and everything else on the movie. I will say Luc Besson makes bad guys look greasy and disgusting. Just like, you could tell he's a European because they're about 10 years behind us on what you believe the American, underground might look like, with the greasiness and everything else. But I don't know. I didn't enjoy it, guys. I didn't like it. I've watched this a long time ago, and I forgot how it ended. I completely forgot that. I thought he trained her, and at the end, she was the one defending the hotel room that they were in. That was my remembering of this movie, which tells you something. So now, as far as acting, Padme did great, right? I thought she did good as a child actor, and I thought, oh gosh, what is his name? Jean Reno,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Jean
Yeah.
Reno did really weird, being kind of that weird not antisocial, but I don't know, awkward guy who is really good at his job. But in terms of a story, there wasn't a whole lot there. You know, the bad guys are supposed to be good guys in this movie, right? You got the cops, you've got the family, and turns out the mafia ends up being the decent one of everyone. There's a lot of good cops that died in this movie too, so it's like, whatever happened to just having a group of bad cops going after someone like Leon? But anyway, I digress. It's interesting. I would not recommend, and it was gross. Made me feel uneasy.
Okay.
Yep.
So I will address this one thing when you said that, because Renault is kind of playing slow. So according to trivia, and according to him, he decided to play Leon as if he were a little mentally slow and emotionally repressed. He felt that it would make audiences relax and realize that he wasn't someone who would take advantage of a vulnerable young girl. Renault claims that for Leon, the possibility of physical relationship with Mathilda is not even conceivable, and as such, during the scenes when such relationship is discussed, Renault was very much allowed Portman to be emotionally in control of the scenes.
Interesting.
So,
okay.
I hadn't read that before I watched it the first time, but then I learned about it the second time, and that kind of helped my understanding of the character a little bit, because the second time watching it, I didn't have the cringe moments that you mentioned. So, all right,
yeah,
we'll explore that in just a little bit. Andrew, what you got?
Well, I only have one, and it's a 6-word, of course, because I don't follow the rules. Once you pop, you can't stop. And I say that because I started this movie today. I hadn't seen this before ever. And I started, and I had intended on leaving this kind of just on in the background, just to kind of, while I was doing other things. I couldn't stop watching it.
Oh, wow.
I was captivated. I thought that the story of the DEA kind of crooked stuff, the way that it came to light was clever, because at first you don't really understand excuse me, that these aren't just regular old criminals, right? And the relationship is a little cringy between Mathilda and Leon, but after getting past that, though, the chemistry between the two as actors, I thought, was really very good. And you see this transformation. Well, I don't know that it's a transformation, but you see this. I don't know. You kind of watch the birth of this. Someone that you would assume is just a cold-hearted killer. You watch him kind of bloom into this caring, loving individual, or you realize that he is. I'm not necessarily that he blooms throughout the story, but you realize that he's not the bad person that we are assuming that he is at the beginning. Yeah, he kills people. I mean, but who doesn't, right? So,
in this world, you're right.
Right. Yeah. But I just couldn't stop watching, and I had a good time watching it, and it was a lot of fun for me.
All right.
I would recommend. Yeah.
Right on. Okay. Will?
Yeah. Okay. So this was also my first viewing. I strangely have had this movie on Blu-ray for a while and have just never jumped into it. I kind of knew what to expect from some of the like cringe standpoints. And I'll touch on that in a minute, but I absolutely loved it.
Oh.
So for the 5 words, I chose to go with alliteration, and I've got pill popping, plant planting perfection.
All right.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, to your point, I get it. It's a little cringe-worthy, and my feeling was kind of like the quote that Sean just read. I felt like all of that came from her character's standpoint, and I kind of looked at that through the lens of kids say the darndest thing. Certainly the like a virgin bit was very uncomfortable, amongst other things. But I do think it's a story about, a lonely guy. And, I think the metaphor is pretty clear with the plant, right? He's constantly moving himself, searching for sunlight, reminding himself to get outside. I think that it's really a story about this lonely guy and these two kind of lost souls helping each other in the most unorthodox of ways. So I think once you kind of get past that cringe, it's actually pretty beautiful and heartbreaking at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this definitely doesn't have a typical Hollywood ending where, the hero and they ride off together in the sunset.
Mhm.
I mean, even her, she goes to a place that she hates. But it's her only choice is to go back to the school and live a life that she's probably not going to enjoy. My 2 5-word reviews were Loner Assassin Adopts a Girl. And my other one is a favorite Gary Oldman performance. He is fantastic.
Well, I honestly, if I have to give a star to this movie, I loved his character. I thought whenever his character was on screen, it totally stole everything.
Yeah, and he's so crazy that you don't know what he's gonna do next, right? Because the movie he intros, just a guy listening to music, and he's all weird by sniffing, the drug holder, right? And then the next time we see him, he's shotgunning women and children. Like you're like, oh, this guy's insane. He's gonna do whatever. Like no one on screen is safe, and I mean, he was one step above the trope, and it's only because this is not like a Bond movie where the bad guy is willing to kill his own men to make a point. Like he's one step above that trope. But I think that makes him more psycho, just because he will kill whoever. And then when you find out he's a cop, he's DEA, it's like, oh my gosh. So now he's a psycho. Like, how did he get screening?
They teased at it too, at that trope in the bathroom with him pointing the gun at one of his guys. I mean, for a second, I thought that's exactly where it was going.
Yeah. Except like he's in a bathroom at the police station, which, by the way, that bathroom looked gnarly for a police station. But
everything looked gnarly. This whole he must have filmed this in, I don't know, some sort of ghetto somewhere. I mean, it's just bad.
This was probably a super low budget film. Well, super low budget, maybe is the wrong word, but this was probably a pretty low budget film. Budget. It was 100 and it's in francs. So it says 115 million francs. So whatever that equation is in dollars, I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess we could look it up for what it would have been in 1994, but it only made worldwide. It only made $20 million.
Really?
Yeah. But it looks like also a lot of it was filmed in Paris.
He does a lot of his stuff overseas.
He
That's
does.
for sure.
Yeah, he does. And yeah. So anyway, but so not to disagree with Sam, but it's fun to do. I did enjoy this movie.
I'm in the minority today. Okay.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Watching it the second time, I enjoyed it more because, again, once you kind of realize, I mean, the cringe isn't there the entire time, right? It's not like it's there the whole time because, I mean, the first time, like when her family gets murdered and she goes in there and she's sitting there crying, he goes and grabs the pig, oven mitt and of course, my first thought is, why does this assassin man have a pig oven mitt? It's like, but it kind of fits the character, right? Because he's he's kind of childlike.
He's a little off. Yeah.
But he can't read. He's not good with numbers, so he's just good with a gun. And is Tony taking advantage of him because of that? I don't know. And
oh, absolutely, I totally got that Tony was completely taking advantage of him.
So okay, that's a good question because Will, you were just nodding your head on that. For those who didn't or aren't watching, the first time I watched this movie, I thought the same thing. Tony is totally screwing this guy, that he's keeping all of his money. But for some reason, when I watched it the second time, I got a different vibe. Like Tony's genuinely cares for this guy and he's trying to look out for him. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think he's looking out for the money.
Yeah, and that was my kind of concern with Tony too. Was it wasn't until the end when he was talking to Mathilda.
Yeah.
Why didn't he just give her the money then? He wants her to keep coming, but he wants her to stay in the city where she's endangered and keep coming back, a place where they would look for her over and over again, just for her to get a small piece of the money over time. If he was really looking out for the best interest of the money, or for her and his wishes, he would have said, take this and go, get the heck out of here where nobody can find you, never show your face in the city again. So
or even protected her, right? He's got the resources to protect her in his custody. Right. And he basically says, go away, but you can come every now and then and get $100.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. Plus, they just burst into his restaurant and, made him fear for his own life. I don't know if he's going to be around much longer either.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know Gary Oldman, his character, is gone, but surely people are going to be knocking on those doors again.
Yeah, well, especially if Gary Oldman left, any kind of breadcrumbs for the actual police to go there. But I mean, if the police know that he's, a crime boss, whatever he is, mob guy, maybe they leave him alone. I don't know, but yeah, they did beat the hell out of him, and but he also did give up Leon and the girl because he got beat. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's one of those where, because when I was on the other podcast, we were talking about this. I brought this up and said, is he on the up and up? And TV's Travis was like, yeah, I think he's kind of looking out for him. And then on the second time viewing, I'm like, I don't know, is he or is he not? It's tough to tell because even though he makes up this kind of garbage line like, well, banks get knocked over, no one's gonna knock over Tony. It's like, well, you did get knocked over, but even if they knock over a bank, it's not your money they're taking. Like,
remember FDIC?
Yeah, exactly. Like this isn't like the 1830s when a bank gets robbed and your money's gone, right? So anyway, just.
I mean, I don't think he's outright a villain, or I mean, he's not.
No.
Pete Postlethwaite in the town. Bad, but I do think he's a little bit questionable. Yeah. He may just also not be very smart.
Well, I don't know. If you're a crime boss, you have to be. This is an argument I've made several times on the show. If you're some kind of crime boss, lord, whatever, right? You have to be one of two things, or the combo. You have to be really smart or feared, or a combo. Because that's how you become a boss. That's the only reason why people listen to you. Either they fear you or you're really smart. So then we watch movies where, what was that movie that we had Mads Mikkelsen as the hero, and he had that really weird bad guy boss. You remember what I'm talking about?
Force Awakens.
No. You know what I'm talking about, Will? It was a Netflix movie. Mads Mikkelsen, he's like an assassin. He's trying to retire, and then but you can't leave the company, and he send the team after him, and he bangs that girl all over the place, and then he kills the team. And the bad guy was Tweedledee and Tweedledum from Alice in Wonderland. Anyway, I can't remember what it was. Doesn't matter. The point is that somebody's listening knows what the hell I'm talking about. We reviewed it.
Yeah, I remember the naked fight scene, right? The naked.
Yeah, he was 100% naked shooting people. I'm scrolling back through our
yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah. Anyway, my point is that the bad guy in that movie was so stupid and ridiculous and over the top. It's like there's no way that guy is in power.
Yeah.
Because he's just a ridiculous person. Anyway. I'm not going to look anymore. I can't find it. So it's there somewhere. Yeah, whatever. Moving on back to the show notes. I will say this: I'm glad that they didn't film the little boy getting killed.
Yeah,
but just knowing about it was still hard, especially the four of us being parents. That scene was, I mean, the movie has to make you really not care about the family. That's why the sister is a huge asshole and the mom is an asshole. Adds, beats, Natalie Portman. So you're not really all that bummed out when, Gary Oldman guns him down. But the little boy was just an innocent, like truly innocent, and that was a real bummer. But it also fuels her motivation to do what she did.
And the chalk line.
Yeah.
That's the part that because you don't see it, but when you see the outline of it, and she's in there alone, and that was tough.
That was powerful. That was a powerful thing. I'm going to take this powerful moment. I'm going to make fun of the scene for a second. So when Gary Oldman bursts in there with a shotgun, why is his group of thugs the most like it was Keystone Cops? These guys are falling over each other. They're freaking out. One of them almost shoots one of the others. Like, what the hell is wrong with these guys? Like,
that is a total Luke Besson thing, though.
Is it?
He does that a lot in his movies. All the henchmen are weird in his weird in his movie.
They were so freaked, like strung out. Like I don't like when Gary Oldman walks by with the shotgun singing Beethoven. They're like ducking. Like, what is wrong with you? You're all the guys with the guns. Like it's like I don't understand how any of you can be bad guys and be this awful at being bad guys. Just like it made me laugh, which is not what's supposed to be happening. Right? It's a pretty awful scene, and I'm kind of giggling at these guys.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought there was some incredibly goofy stylizations in that regard throughout, and without knowing Besson's other work that I know of, I thought it was intentional, but I couldn't put my finger on why, because it did kind of pull you out of it. But that was just one of those things where I assumed the director had something to say that was above my pay grade, and I just looked past it.
Have you not seen any of his other films?
Not that I know of.
Oh, you haven't seen The Fifth Element?
It's been years.
Sure.
If I have.
Okay. I was just curious. The Fifth Element is like one of my, I don't know, maybe top 10, maybe top 15 movies. I love it.
When that movie come out? 97, 95?
Yeah, 95, 96, something like that. It came out right. It was his next film after this.
I've seen it, but I saw it right as it came out.
Yeah, 97. Yeah, that movie was like, I own that on VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray.
Oh, the Trinity.
That's one of the few movies that I've done that with. Well, actually, it might be the only one because I don't own Serenity on VHS, but that'd be fun to try to find. But
it's gotta be up there somewhere. Yeah.
It might be. Well, the movie came out in 2005, so I don't know if they would have done that. But he also did We haven't done Lucy for the podcast, and I don't know if we will because I really didn't like that movie at all.
Is that with Scarlett Johansson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I know of it. I don't know anything about it though.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I really didn't. Well, we've done some of his other some movies that he's written, but he directed The Family. We watched The Family for the podcast, and Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. Like, what a really cool concept, but just didn't. You haven't seen that one, Will? Have you?
No.
It was just the wrong people in the wrong movie.
If you take out Dane DeHaan and put in any other male actor of the time, it would have been a much better movie. 2017. Who could you put in there? You could have put in
Edward Norton.
He's probably too old to be the love interest of the girl, but somebody in their 20s. It would have been better. But anyway, we have a whole episode where we ripped that movie, so go listen to that if you want. So, but he's done some stuff. We still haven't. Maybe one day we'll do La Femme Nikita. I don't know. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Last few notes here before we move on. I already started mentioning. So Keith A. Glasgow, who played the enormous Benny, or Third Stanfield Man, later became a member of the New York Fire Department Ladder Company 21 in Hell's Kitchen. Courageously, he died in the collapse of the World Trade Center towers on September 11th.
Oh wow!
So that was I thought that was a pretty interesting piece of trivia there.
The big guy at the beginning.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. We did have. Oh, do I have it handy? I don't think I do. Crap. How do I not have this handy anymore, guys? See, Sam comes back and I'm all messed up. Okay, here we go. We had a montage, guys. We had a montage of training. That's right. Oh, and by the way, that paintball gun that she shot. Ever seen a paintball gun
that accurate at that distance?
I mean, good Lord. And I do love the whole the lead up to it though, right? Like, Tony gives him, he's like, sure you want to use this? Is for beginners. He's like, yeah, I need it for some practice. And then they get the whole thing up like, and this is gonna be like an actual weapon. And then who was that? Some vice president maybe, or a mayor or a governor or something, some politician.
Some goofy guy.
Big guy.
And it's a paintball gun from a quarter mile away or something like that. It's crazy. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah. Anything else we mentioned before I play clips, or what do you got? I mean, the fight scene at the end was pretty great though. I mean, the taking on the whole police department. I mean, it was a cool scene. Sam, you're not wrong. He does kill a lot of innocent cops.
Yeah.
Doing their job, but
I have some factoids.
Yeah,
sorry. Go ahead, Andrew.
Well, no, I was just going to say, I do wonder if there are that many corrupt officers there.
In that world, I guess.
In that world. How many of them are really good cops, though?
I mean, it's the 90s
are
and it's
really
New York,
innocent,
right? So the world thinks that they're all pretty awful. So I don't know.
Probably Hell's Kitchen, too. It looked like Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do, Sean. I don't want to step on any toes, but have you looked at this movie's Rotten Tomatoes?
No.
I was just curious. Sam, do you know that this movie has a 95% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes? And according to the IMDb top 250 movies, is the number 39 ranked movie of all time?
Oh my gosh. See, that's crazy to me. That's just that's nuts. So,
I mean, I love it. I'm surprised by that.
I mean, I know I'm not wrong. So everybody else is definitely wrong, but
that sounds about right.
Goodness.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, I just want to butt in here for a second. So this came out in 94.
Mhm.
I was in 4th grade. And this is back when, we could peruse the aisles of the Blockbusters and the Flick Video and all these different movie stores, right? Movie rental stores. And I remember seeing the cover of this movie when it came out and always wondering what the movie was about, because it was such an iconic photo, and they made the John Lennon glasses kind of stand out on the cover. And there was a couple of different covers that I thought, one of them was before I knew that it was Jean Reno, or what was his name? Yeah. I thought that this movie starred Woody Harrelson for a while.
Okay.
And
really?
I got this movie confused with another movie that did star Woody Harrelson.
Oh, was that the Natural Born Killers? Doesn't he
Yes.
wear these glasses on there as well?
Yes, he does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And that's another movie I'd never seen. So I don't know if they came out about the same time, but I remember seeing them both in the movie store and always wondering what these movies were about.
Yeah, 94 is this same year.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. It's funny how our minds do that. Like I think it's funny how that happens. But I know that poster you're talking about, because it's not the one that's on the IMDb page now. It's the one where it's just his face kind of looking up to the left. He's looking at the boom pole or something, and then and then it shows him and Natalie kind of underneath where he's in his suspenders or whatever. So yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's funny how we have those memories of just like movie posters and things like that. In fact, I'd heard the everyone yell. I'd seen that or heard that more times. I heard it before, like in other podcasts and stuff. People would use that, and then when I finally watched the movie, I was like, "Oh, that's where that's from." That's like when you're watching a movie and then you see where the meme comes from. You're like, "Oh, I know what that's from." So,
yeah. Side story. My 10-year-old. Now, I know I'm going to sound like a terrible parent for this story, but my 10-year-old asked, "Dad, can I watch Terminator?" And I said, "Son, I don't think that you're quite old enough to see Terminator." And he said, "Dad, I think I'll be okay." And I said, "All right, well, I'm gonna fast forward through a couple of scenes." And I said, "Now I'm gonna warn you, it's a little, there's some blood, and people get shot." And he said, "Okay." But the moment that you hear the line, "Come with me if you want to live," he stopped and he goes, "Dad, that's that line." And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
As a father, I think we've all used that line too.
We have, yeah.
So yeah,
I definitely have said it before.
That's fantastic. That's funny. Declan hasn't watched any R-rated movies yet. God, I can't get his mother to let me watch PG-13 movies with him yet.
Well, yeah. Well, the furthest we've gotten is Jurassic Park at PG-13. So.
Well, you've done most of the Avengers films, the MCU. Those are all.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah,
they've watched 20 PG-13 movies.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know why I don't even think those are. Yeah.
Yeah, she won't let him watch Attack of the Clones yet.
Oh my gosh.
Because it's PG-13. I know.
Well, I wouldn't let him watch it just because of how bad it is.
Yeah, but he thinks it's good. he likes it. I mean, right now, not Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith is what I meant to say. Attack of the Clones. And that's right now, it's his favorite Star Wars movie. Because of the Yoda fight. And the clone troopers. He likes clone troopers. He's 10. What you got, Will?
I'm just thinking about, I'm dying to get my 4-year-old, almost 5, out of the cartoon phase. Everything is cartoon. I watch cartoon. So I've started to gently make that transition. So I got the Goonies out of the way, the Sandlot out of the way, but I'm like, how quickly can I jump to The Shining? or Seven. Can we do that next weekend?
Maybe not for a little while. I think
we did do. I've never been a big MCU fan, and recently I've decided like I want to give them more of a chance because I never really allowed myself to get lost in that world. Mm-hmm. So we started doing the chronological order of those, and we watched Captain America, the first Avenger. I guess that's the first one. It had like a little bit of language here and there, but mostly he was fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna not get on my soapbox about watching the MCU in chronological order.
Well, no, you tell me how to do it.
We'll do it off air. I'll do it off air. People who've listened to the show have heard my rant. I don't need to go on to it. All right, we're gonna play some clips now. You ready for some clips? Of course you are, because I want to. All right, here we go. This one is serious.
It's Tonto downstairs. There's a guy who wants to talk to you.
What's he look like?
Serious.
Tell him I'm coming up.
He's coming up.
Somebody's coming up. Somebody's serious.
I love that. I love that description. I like that dialogue. What does he look like? Serious. It's just that's a great line. I like that a lot.
But that was one of those silly, campy kind of deliveries for me. But I loved it.
Yeah.
The Luke Besson style is definitely there. That is definitely
style. I mean, he does, especially these early movies. The Fifth Element is camp. I mean, the Fifth Element is sci-fi camp, and that's why I like it so much. Though it's ridiculous. I mean, Gary Oldman is basically, he said, "Okay, Gary, we know you were psycho in the first movie, in this movie. The next movie, we want you to be psycho, but also weird. Like you have a baby elephant as an alien pet that lives in your desk. Okay, like that's what the weird we're gonna have. Okay." Speaking of Gary Oldman, which by the way, I love that we don't know what the pills are that he takes. But I love the idea that he has to take this pill before he's going to, commit murder. So it's his murder pills. Anyway, we don't want to disturb him.
I think he gets those truck stops.
I'm trying to help you out here. But, if you're going to be a hard ass about it, I got to disturb him. Now, let me tell you, when he's into his music, he hates being disturbed. I'm telling you the truth. I hope so.
I'm sorry, Andrew. I cut you off. You said
no. That's okay. I didn't realize you were jumping right into the clip there. I was just saying I think he gets those pills at the truck stop.
Sure. Yeah. Those 5 hours
at the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No dose. All right. I don't know if this was improvised or not, but this just seems just weird enough to be improvised.
I like these calm little moments before the storm.
I also like that you can hear his accent break through because he's not American, so it's calm is not quite calm. There's an R in there. So, yeah.
I like these calm little moments before the storm. It reminds me of Beethoven. Can you hear it? It's like when you put your head to the grass. You can hear it crawling. You can hear the insects. Do you like Beethoven? Couldn't really say. I'm gonna play you some.
Now, I think it was a missed opportunity, and maybe they didn't get the rights or whatever. But that music is in public domain.
Public domain.
They couldn't have. But when he shoots the shotgun, give us bum 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 bum. Like you could have done
something.
Oh
ninth, and it would have made the scene probably too funny. Maybe because it's a serious moment, but then you still have the Keystone Cops behind them falling down and being ridiculous. So like I can't tell if the scene's supposed to be serious or not, but I think that was a thing. Also, that music, by the way. So I'm watching this movie the first time. I'm like, good Lord, that sounds just like GoldenEye. That I don't know how to describe it. Whatever the sound is, it's just like GoldenEye. So Eric Serra, I look him up, known for GoldenEye.
Ah, there you go.
That's why. He also did The Fifth Element, which is again very, yeah. I mean, he basically he works with this. This is his guy, right? Spielberg and Williams. It's Eric Serra and Besson. But that, I mean, even that intro that I played, you can hear some of that music there. That like that is just screams Fifth Element. That music is all through the Fifth Element. All right, snore.
You know, I never saw someone with one eye open snore so much.
I snore.
Like a baby.
Okay, Will, you have a baby like not 5 feet from you. Does it snore like Jean Reno?
No, it's daintier.
I don't think children snore.
I've never heard that phrase before. Snore like a baby. I've never heard that.
Maybe it's a French thing.
Is it a French thing?
I don't know. I heard it and I thought, I wonder if she just messed up the line and they just kept it in there.
Yeah.
Because I've heard sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Or he's tipping the hat to her age. She's messing up phrases.
True.
Yeah, maybe. True. Yeah. Yeah, it was a funny like a baby. What? So maybe like because Will, your example, your explanation is probably better than mine because my first thought was she's complimenting him that his snores are cute and dainty. Like I don't know, but I would.
Well, I wouldn't put that past her either.
Yeah. So there's this.
Betty, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
That's right. I like it. I pulled the just the everyone out, but now I can't find it. It's not in my queue here. I'll have to find it later. But I have just the scream. So in case I need to use that ever again. Also, you guys know I like a good shit.
Shit.
There you go.
Shit.
There you go. It's going to go on my my shit collection. I have a bunch of them, but so no game tonight because of reasons. So there's no game tonight. So we're actually going to go straight into this.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Besides, our conversation ran a little long anyway, so I think we're okay to skip that. So we're going to give this movie. I played the wrong clip. I meant to play this.
Wait, what's supposed to happen?
I still have my top 3 clip in here. We don't do top 3 anymore. I guess I can get rid of that and put that somewhere else. I'll put that right next to this.
Son of a bitch must pay.
Right. So this is what we do out of 10. Give this movie a score from 0 to 10. And I think Andrew goes first.
Yeah, so this is at a 8.5 on IMDb out of 10.
Wow.
Which Sam thinks is pretty high. The movie we watched last week, I gave a pretty high score.
You did.
Which was Indiana Jones and the
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade. Thank you. It's late. I know it's comparing apples and oranges, but watching Indiana Jones, would I rather? Of course. So I can't quite go as high as that, but I'm going to still keep this relatively high. I'm going to say 7.9 out of 10.
That's interesting because you also gave a movie a 7.9 recently, and that was Temple of Doom.
Interesting.
Okay.
All right.
I'm okay with that. They're both dark.
I'm gonna go higher, and I don't know. I don't remember what I've ranked other movies on here, but I'm gonna give this a 9, and I'm only taking a point off because I just watched 3:10 to Yuma recently, and I've been on like a Western kick, and I'm kind of tired of the good guy dying in the end. So I'm going to take 1 full point off away for them not just letting Léon live. It probably would have made the movie worse, but it would have made it better for me.
Yeah, 3:10 to Yuma is great. And speaking of Westerns, the last time we had you on, we watched The Harder They Fall.
Yep.
And you gave that a 9 also.
Yeah.
So I have the ability to go back and take a peek here.
Then I give this a 9.1.
Oh, okay. All right. And then before that was Atonement.
Oh, Lord, we did Atonement. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
No problem. I still talk about Atonement. In fact, not 4 days ago, we were talking about we were sitting around at dinner. So I'm at my parents' house, and so we were all of us talking about movies, and something about Sarah mentioned, didn't Extraction 2 come out? And I said, yeah, Sam said it was great. And then we started talking about the one shot, which made me, mention Atonement, which is when we did it. And then I had to pull it up and put it on the TV to just the one shot and let my son and everybody watch it. My son was really confused because he'd never heard of Dunkirk. So he's like, wait a minute, is this D-Day? I'm like, no, this is Dunkirk. This is before D-Day, years before D-Day. This is when the British are leaving France. He was really confused by that. He's like, wait a minute, the British got kicked out of France? I said, yeah, they did. So, all right, Sam.
I'm the party pooper tonight. I'm going to give it about a 5.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
It just doesn't do it for me, and I feel greasy after watching it. So, just not my cup of tea.
That's okay.
Or my glass of milk, I should say.
Sure. Yeah.
There you go.
I like this movie. I think it's pretty good. I think it's one of those that people should see. I don't think Rosie would like to watch it, but I think that if you like these kinds of movies where a lot of people get killed and a lot of bad language, and yes, there's a little bit of awkwardness between a man and a girl, but I think it's a good movie, and I think it probably is his best film as a story, as a director. I like The Fifth Element more, but I think this is a better film.
Mm-hmm.
But The Fifth Element's still a lot of fun. I'm going to give this an 8.4. I think it's pretty good. So, anyway, that's it. That's our show. That's the podcast. That's everything.
Sam, I do have one question before we sign off here.
Yeah.
Is that Bill Pullman?
I know it kind of looks like him, doesn't it? That's a AI inspired Gary Oldman. So
it looks nothing like Gary Oldman. Yeah. It looks like Bill Pullman and what's his name? Will Fargo.
Buscemi?
No.
William H. Macy.
William H. Macy. Yeah, Bill Pullman and William H. Macy had a baby, and that's him.
Oh.
With a sprinkling of Jeff Bridges in there.
Yeah, with the goatee. Yeah.
Well, it's got the Oldman hair. Got to give it that. So.
I think you just typed "old man." I think is the
I said and yeah.
Is Bill Pullman in Titanic? Am I making that up?
No, he is. He's in the.
He is, right? He's the guy on the boat, right?
Yeah.
Bill Pullman.
He's the researcher on the boat in the beginning who brings.
No.
Who is that?
That's the other Bill. That's the one that died.
Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
That's Bill Paxton. He's got Bill Paxton hair too. So all the people we've named, throw Bill Paxton in there.
Okay, we'll sprinkle a Bill Paxton. I got you. Yeah, Bill. Well, yeah, because Bill Pullman was the president of the United States in Independence Day.
Yes, that's right. Bill Paxton was Big Love.
Yes. And Twister and all of.
Yes, love him.
Yes, rest in peace. That's our show. Anything you want people to point towards you, Will? I know you're not a podcaster, but
no.
No, okay. Let them do a thing. That's cool. Well, don't leave us alone. Go to our website, cheapseatreviews.libsyn.com. There you can find links to all of our social medias. Go follow us on all of them. Join our Discord. Discord's been awful quietly recently. We got people. We need to get people in there and chat some stuff up, talk movies, and send in your requests for stuff like that. Yeah. Next week, though, no more Sam. Not no more Sam. You're gone next week. But we'll have Andrew. And as of right this moment, I don't have a guest, but we'll see what happens. And again, as of this moment, our movie is Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that one. Shoot.
But we might switch it out with something else, Sam, because I know you want to watch that.
I like that one.
So To Be Determined is our movie. TBD, the sequel to I Don't Know What We're Doing Yet. Yeah,
Barbieheimer.
Yes, Barbieheimer.
There you go, Barbieheimer.
In fact, well, Billy went to go see Mission Impossible tonight.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway, that's it. That's our show. Thank you all so much for listening. Go leave us a review on iTunes and all those other places, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see when we post things. You will watch us there, and that's going to do it. So on behalf of Sam, Andrew, and Will, this is Sean and Andrew's plant. This is Sean saying thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.